All right, closing out the week. Still got Friday. I get it. Thursday. We're good.
Can't see you.
Getting closer.
Yeah.
This is our last week here on the Real Kyper and Bourne show, but that won't keep us from a jam-packed show for the next 2 hours. We are live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandale, Chris Gallagher. Are we good?
We got a hesitant pause.
My producer's not happy.
Nah, it's the last week, so I thought I should make a mistake on the lineup. It's Jimmy Willie up there. James Wilson with us today.
All right, Jimmy Will.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Jimmy Willie. So no Jake the Snake today, and I screwed that up. And I saw him, and I talked to him.
Are you correct when I tell people that we're going to have the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs join us in 30 minutes?
Pretty sure that's correct.
Cool.
John Chayka.
Pretty sure that's correct.
After a very busy Canada Day
Yeah.
for the Toronto Maple Leaf general manager.
Boy, say that again.
They did stuff.
Jason Gregor also at the top of the hour as well, and we'll get into Edmonton Oilers as well. But in the meantime, lots of talk about so many changes to Sammy's Toronto Maple Leafs. Overall, your thoughts?
You ever play Scrabble?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
if you get your Scrabble letters.
Horrible speller. And I tend to put two words together and make them up.
But like if you get all your letters and you're like, I can't make anything of this, one of the options is to dump them all into the bag, take all new letters, and skip your turn. That's what the Leafs.
Is that the Leafs?
Jake, they just shook the bag, redraw some letters, try again.
There are a lot of Toronto Maple Leaf fans out there right now that say, come on, JB, they did more than that. They're better than that. They're a better team. This is a playoff team. They're going back to the playoffs.
I'm in.
Are you?
I agree.
You do.
I do.
You do.
I do. They're the out list from last year for the Leafs here on that right-hand side if you're on television. Woll, Urson, Carlo, Benoit, Michelli, Robertson, Hildeby. There's not a guy on that list where you're like, oh no, given the way last year went. And some of these guys on the other list coming in, Bobrovsky, Radish, Andre, who knows, Gavin McKenna, Sissons I like, Roslovic, Bluger, Nick Paul. Like, maybe they're not elite, whatever you think, top-end offensive guys, but I like the in-list this year. How about you?
I'm not convinced right now that this is a playoff team yet.
That's fair. Tough to
I think I'm okay with some of the character, and they're bigger, and they tend to probably have more of a playoff type of feel. Nick Paul, come on. I mean, who doesn't like Nick Paul?
For sure.
Right?
6'4", 230 or something, goes to the net.
I still see a few questions here, like who's going to score? And at the end of the day, and we'll get into this with the general manager too, Chayka, the majority of the changes were to address your bottom six, which now my first thought is, wow, that's a different bottom six. And is it better? Absolutely, is it better? But they went and spent $20 million on it. It's not a cheap bottom six.
No, it's not cheap, but it is. All those deals are 2-year deals outside of, I think, Duhaime.
Yeah, but it's all about 2 years. Everything's about 2 years, because if it's not, you know who's going bye-bye.
Right, but
34.
But this also with depth signings. Yeah,
right? That's the whole point, is just the 2 years.
Well, depth signings in general, they get their 2 years, and if your team is no good, then you have the flexibility to take the $20 million you spent and trade them for picks. Trade them,
And then you're in a total
rebuild.
Which we know.
So they've maintained flexibility while getting better.
Yeah.
It's funny, last year we talked about offense, and I was saying they're still going to get goals. They're still going to be a top, half the league offense, whatever.
I know you did.
And they did until the end of the year. They fell off. They still ended up just inside the top half. I have more question marks this year about that.
Yes.
However, I do think the ability to move the puck on the backhand should help them up front. So Nyes, Matthews, Roslovic, Nylander, Tavares, McKenna, Paul, Cowan, like some of those guys, I think they should play on offense a lot more. God, this year, guys, they lived in their own end.
Yes.
They never played at the other end of the rink. So that should help too.
I forget what year it was we did the trade deadline show, and the one where they traded for Shen, and they traded Engvall, and they traded Sandin, and they traded all these different guys. And I remember looking at you guys and being like, who plays on the Leafs?
Yeah.
And, I went to the Jays game after the show yesterday, and I was kind of off my phone, and then I got a text like, the Leafs traded for Nick Paul, and they signed Brandon Duhaime, and all these different guys. And yeah, like, it's definitely different, and it's definitely, I see people saying, like, it's for sure better.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be hard to be worse.
Yeah.
First of all,
it's for sure.
Last year was out and out one of the worst, watches you're going to have. So it's definitely better. I don't know. Like, I worry about scoring, like you said, Kip. I think the bottom six could be questioned a bit, but they know what they're doing down there.
I actually really like
I think
really?
I think the top six can be questioned.
Well,
I mean, so you're looking at Nyes, Matthews, Cowan, Nyes, Matthews, Nylander, and McKenna, Tavares, Nylander. You don't think those guys can score?
I think they can score. If we're going to compare them to competitive teams in the Atlantic, there's the two unknowns. There's two unknowns in the top six. Tell me where there's two unknowns in Florida. Tell me where there's two unknowns in Tampa when it comes to the top six. The two unknowns are McKenna and Cowan.
Yeah.
You've got them in your top six, and they're unproven. So those are big question marks. I don't know. We don't know. Nobody. I've been around this game a long time, some less. We're still both guessing on what do we see out of McKenna. Is he closer to Celebrini or is he closer to Jack Hughes in his first 2 years?
Yeah. No, I mean, those are fair points. I would say, most teams have someone like Tampa does have Gage Gonsalves in their top six right now that you're like, I'm not sure. Florida, I do think is the cream, the gold standard right now, right? Like if you're trying to win a cup, Florida is it. But I think if you go around the league, it's not a lock that you're going to find many top sixes better. But I'll give you this. It all depends on Matthews. Well, and McKenna. And
John Tavares, too.
Yeah,
I don't. Come on, John, again, he doesn't have 3 weeks now from an Olympic year. He's going to have to kind of sprint it over 82 games. Is he your second line centerman?
Yeah. No, listen, that is absolutely a major spot for this team.
Question mark.
For sure it is. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But I really like the bottom six. For years, the puzzle pieces haven't fit. You've had all these guys in the bottom six who I talked about yesterday who were smaller guys who wanted to play in the top six, who felt miscast, who couldn't play their way up the lineup, or it was Thornton, or it was Spezza, or it was Michelli. These guys they know their roles. They go to the net. And also Nick Paul can score, and Blueger's had years where he's got goals. Sissons has scored 15 a couple years ago. Like, they don't never score. So I like the bottom six.
Nick Paul is stunning to me. The guy, there's been a lot of names that have been bandied about for trades and all that stuff, but I can't think of a name that came way more out of left field to me than Nick Paul to the Leafs.
Just trying to make space, eh?
I don't.
Is that one of those where you go, like, why does Tampa want to get rid of him?
Well, I mean, they needed cap space.
I know they needed cap space, but he was like, he had a bit of an identity with them, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a tough year last year. He had a high ankle sprain, which you remember Mitch's year with the high ankle sprain. It holds guys back. He had wrist surgery, I think, at one point. He had a tough injury year, and then they just didn't use him much last year. He dropped down to 13 minutes a game for Tampa Bay last year.
Yeah, so I think part of that, it's not a name that I would ever have considered. And quite frankly, as a fan, there aren't many guys in the league that I don't like more than Nick Paul in terms of just watching. And he's been a Leaf killer over the years, and him scoring those big goals in that Game 7 against the Leafs. Like, that one for me, and I don't know if any Leaf fans listening feel the same way, it's going to take some getting used to see him playing for the Leafs and trying to kind of root for that guy. Like, it's a tough one. I'm not going to lie to you. But if he's good, then you'll be like, okay, that's fine. But if he's no good, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, should have left him in Tampa.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
pretty,
that was surprising.
Pretty low risk.
You think?
Yeah. And gave up some picks.
And Hildeby?
Yeah.
You think that's no risk?
I've told you guys over and over, I am not a Hildeby believer.
I think
I said that in their show 10 times.
I think there's some risk involved in that. You don't think the risk level on trading him to a division rival?
Well, no, because it's Vasilevsky's team, and they had a real concern. They had a real concern on the backup. Mm-hmm. That's why they went and got him. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether they convinced Vasilevsky to play less games and take more nights off and start managing your season. And then does Hildeby come in with 30 games? Can he get 30 games in Tampa Bay?
I'd be shocked if you get like a great 30 games out of Hildeby next year.
I mean, he was their best goalie this year for Toronto. That's not saying much, but
well, how many games did he play? And I mean
20?
that sincerely.
I think 20. Yeah, you think he had 9-14, 20 games?
Yeah.
He was pretty good. I don't know.
No, he had a great year.
Well,
no doubt he had a great year, and that's how you're able to get Nick Paul for.
But he didn't play in the Marlies run.
No.
Maybe there was something
Double
there.
A really stole his spotlight, if I put it, on the season with his Calder Cup.
Yeah.
So I think it was a choice between two of them maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And then
he was going to be the number 4,
Double
right?
A's run there with the Marlies just solidified, hey, you're the one that's going to get traded, not me.
Yeah, you're the number 3 now, Akhtimov, and you go from there.
Okay, the splashiest name, of course, yesterday was not Nick Paul. It was Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
And how do we feel about that 24 hours later? Is the same, better, worse? Lots of talk about soon-to-be 38-year-old guy trying to come in here and get this team into the playoffs.
You know, I want to have a radio take for you, but I don't know. I think it's really hard to know. Like, you know, we had Valaket come on last year and say, don't believe in it. You've seen the guy's career and you've had reason to believe in him over and over. He's elevated his game in the playoffs. He's healthy all the time. There's lots to like. I don't think the number is that huge. But yeah, I think he'll be league average. Is that sexy?
I'll give you a sports radio kind of take.
Sure.
Like, I love betting on the pedigree. I mean, I think that this guy plays 50 games every year. He was cut loose by the team that he won 2 Stanley Cups with. They chose Jakub Markstrom over him, who is unquestionably a worse goalie than SergeiObrovsky. I'm sorry. I've watched hockey for the last 10 years.
No,
I know which
one.
They did.
Okay.
They did.
Okay. No, that's kind of true. It's kind of true, but it's not true. Okay?
Seems pretty true.
They wanted him back. They just didn't want him back on the contract Toronto gave him.
Markstrom
That's
has
all.
2 years left.
They wanted him back.
Okay.
They offered him 2 years at $12 million.
Okay.
And he didn't want it. He wanted the 3rd year and he wanted more money.
Okay.
And he left Florida for more money. And that's it.
Okay.
That's all you need to know. They wanted him.
I'm just saying.
That's encouraging. That's good. You want a good team like Florida to have wanted him.
I just think that, I mean, to my point, they clearly chose to be like, no, we're not going to spend the extra money on our guy that's been one of our core players we're going to choose Jakub Markstrom, who is definitely worse. I don't care what the numbers say. You like any hockey person says, who do you want in net to win a big game tomorrow? You're going to take Jakub Markstrom or Sergei Bobrovsky. You know who you're going to take. And I just, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder after they cut him loose, like you said. They didn't let him go. They didn't choose the other guy over him. I understand that.
They just needed, they're so pressed on the cap that they just were, it's the flexibility. Like we went overboard with all these term contracts. Now the latest Gudas, before that Marchand, before that Ekblad, and they just didn't want to lock in one more year at like $7 million or whatever he asked for.
Maybe they offered him $1 million over 10 years per
But,
year. Just see if Gary let that one through.
Yeah. He's 38, and he had the worst season of his career.
Yeah, you just look around though, Kip, and you got to bet on someone.
I know.
So if we were going Wool and Stolarz, you'd be going, are you comfortable with that?
You said you don't really have a radio take one way or the other. So it is safe to say that this is by far Chayka's riskiest move.
Yeah.
No question.
Okay.
Yeah.
No question.
Like, of kind of epic proportion here. This is like, it's going to be great or it is going to completely blow up.
But it doesn't have to be. No, that's not true.
I disagree with that.
It could be
Okay,
fine.
so it's just average?
It could be fine.
Okay,
It could
but
totally be
fine
just
doesn't
fine.
get him in the playoffs. You know that, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that.
Lots of
No. This
Kipper,
team
lots of
needs
teams-
good goaltending to get in.
I mean, lots of teams have
Good, really
average
good
goaltending and get in.
I think if they
That's
get
kind of
league
the
average
league.
goaltending, they get in. That's what I think. I do think this decor. I still think there's work to be done. As we sit here today, going into September, I think you still need another D-man. Is the Riley thing going to happen? And then I would like to see another person who can shoot the puck in the net somewhere along the way. I don't know how you make that happen, but
I think it's very easy and obvious. Just be like, it's not going to work with Bobrovsky. I think it's everyone all the fans that are out there saying,
I get it.
You're like, yeah, it's not going to work.
No.
And I was like, you're right. Maybe you're right.
I'm not. I'm just playing the other side a little bit too, to just sit there and go, I get the pedigree and I get all of that. And I'm on board too. I like him. He's a champion. He takes care of himself. But it's risky. I'm here to just warn people it's risky.
I think we all understand it's risky. I mean, you're going to have to
this is a big risk. This is riskier than others.
I don't find
it's $7 million, not 17. It's a risk. There's no doubt it's a risk.
I find
it's also the time that you're putting in, that you have to do this now. It's not like you can warm up to it. It's like if this bombs in 6 months, it's not going to get any better in the last 2 years. So if it's no good,
let me ask you this question:
6-8 months from now,
what's riskier, giving him a little bit too much money per year, or going into another season with Joseph Wall and Anthony Stolarz, who you don't know is going to play 25 games?
It's not one or the other for me. It's not. It's not one or the other. It's just it would be just going in a different direction. That's all.
But we all agree that we're not sure if this works or not.
Yeah.
Right? And so I saw a great tweet today where someone was like, this is like going to a wedding and like reminding the groom, 50% of marriages result in a divorce. Like half the time it's not going to work. That's like, okay, but you're kind of.
Yeah, but it's also like if you're marrying someone that's 40 years older and it's like when your kid's 20, he's going to be dead. You know that, right? You know that, right?
I will say this. I think it's very easy to take new trades and new signings after free agent day and be cynical about them because 31 teams don't win the cup. And it's so easy to go, Vegas, way to go get Rasmus Anderson, fools. That didn't pan out.
How was he in the playoffs? He stunk.
Or look at, you could look around the league and just pick random people and be like, yeah, you got John Carlson, you idiots. It didn't work. 31 teams don't win, but you got to get better and get closer. And
I would
got to get in the playoffs. No, you got to get in the playoffs, JB. This team has to make the playoffs next year.
But if it doesn't make the playoffs, it's because Matthews is no good. So trade him anyway.
You're blowing it up anyway. And you've kept your powder dry for 2 years.
And then what do you do with Bobrovsky for next year and the year after?
You play him. Goal. You play him, and the cap's $150 million, and you just play him.
It's not going up to 150. It's not going up $12 million every year, Sammy.
Okay, Kyper. Okay, you're right.
You just
what do you want us to say here? You're right. He stinks. He's no good. Come on.
The Matthews, you can't live in fear of this Matthews thing. Every deal, if it doesn't work out, we're going to lose Matthews. If he's good, you're going to be good. And if he's not, bye-bye.
Yeah, but the bye-bye then is the mistake was spending 2 years to find that out now.
Well, I think
they have no picks anyway. And they just got the first overall draft pick who's 18 years old.
Yes, with two more that aren't
they're hedging behind.
You're trying to paint this picture of the Toronto Maple Leafs that they're in a bad spot. You're painting them. You got your crap brush out, painting a masterpiece here.
I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, that's it. I like it. It's fresh. It's new. It's giving everybody optimism. I like that part. Yeah. I do. And once you're in, you're all in.
Yeah.
On Chayka right now to make all these moves. Okay, we're all in on, hey, can you skip the part where most often it's about and then the rebuild. Yeah. They cheated that. They've come in. They've made a lot of noise on bottom six. They have question marks on scoring. They have question marks in the top six. They have no number one defenseman. And everybody was so excited about the chase for Werenski.
Yeah.
And now he goes and he takes his net and he goes back to Columbus. Mm-hmm. And today you have no number one defenseman.
But the
Toronto Maple Leafs.
The part of what you're missing
in all
this. Yeah. The part of what you're missing in all this is that they see this coming too, and they are planning. You can see a second wave, right? Like You don't think that they have a 2-year plan from now? That's why they've just drafted 10 kids and all these contracts are 2 years long and Willie and Austin still have term. Like, they're aware that this is probably not it either.
Okay.
Do you think they think they're Stanley Cup favorites right now?
No. I think they're just trying to buy time and they're trying to do their best. And at the end, it may still not be enough.
Agreed. And I think you can see that it's like, let's be as good as we can while not blowing up this next. If they go and they trade, Cowan and some firsts, and all of a sudden that like second wave of whatever coming is blown up, I'll be like, wow, they really went all in.
Yeah.
You can't convince me this is an all-in team here.
As soon as you're dipping into anything past 2 years from now, I'm apprehensive. But where they're at right now,
trading Nyes or Cowan would do that.
Yeah, but they didn't do that.
They didn't because the other teams couldn't pull it off, not because they didn't try.
Well, but for Werenski or whatever it was, they were trying to get the top 10 pick or whatever. That's looking ahead to the future too. Like, I don't think
Werenski's got 8 good years left.
Werenski is the only one that I'm willing to dip into that post 2-year window for.
And the rest of Chayka about that?
Pardon?
Are we going to ask Chayka about that?
Well, we can when we break.
You know what I want to ask him about, and I will when we get there, is the Nick Paul thing came about like 3 or 4 hours after noon, right? And so did they know that was going to be a part of the day? And if not, would that have like changed who they signed? Like, would they have got Paul and then been like, oh, well, now we don't need Sissons? Or I wonder how much of their plan for the day was executed versus Paul fell into their lap after they made a bunch of signings. Or
I think they probably knew for a while, Tampa Bay, that was one contract. And I believe Nick Paul's at 3.5?
I think less.
3.2?
Yeah. I'll give you that number here.
That they just
3.15.
That they just needed to unload that particular contract.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you Nick Paul's name was mentioned as far back as the exchange between Radish and a 5th-round pick.
Oh, you think so?
That's my guess.
So
and
they
I don't know.
idea.
To me, Tampa Bay giving up Radish's rights for a 5th pick is like, I may need a favor from you down the road.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of happens sometimes.
Right.
So we may need to unload a contract here. Would you be willing to take Nick Paul's contract?
Right.
I think teams do operate in that capacity.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think that there's more of a cap dump? Is that what you're getting at here?
Nick Paul?
Yeah.
Yes. They needed that money to go and get help Carlson too, who they just signed for 2 years.
It is funny. They
At
literally
8.5?
just took the Radish exact contract, 2 years, and said, you be Radish for our next 2 years, and we'll figure it out after that. So it's good work on Tampa's part.
Yeah, but he's
Getting
getting there. He's getting long in the tooth too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he is.
36.
Man, the division is, we talk about you got to get back in playoffs, and you look at this division, it's good. Like Montreal, Buffalo, Ottawa,
still,
all these teams.
Still quiet, eh? Montreal. I know they signed Demidov to like an incredible contract.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, at getting that kid for the next 7 years. Is it 7?
8
8
times 9.
8 before midnight.
Yeah.
8 times 9.
They're talking about Mantha too for Montreal, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. There's not much left in free agency. I don't know. Do you think Leafs are done doing stuff?
I as we mentioned earlier in the show, there's still some question marks.
Yeah.
With maybe some depth scoring.
I just don't see who else. Like they got so many guys under contract.
We're gonna have Chayka on here in 5 minutes. We should break, but they're like, "Hey, that's a great run, Toronto Marlies. We're really proud of you. None of you
get to be on the
Not
team.
one of you guys have earned a spot."
God,
They're like, you're done. You're just like we have.
Thanks for helping Easton.
there's
Stanford out.
there's no room.
No, that's what I mean though. But it's like Bo Grulsey. I hope you enjoyed it because
like they got to trade Lorentz, right? Like or something. Like they got too many of these guys.
Yeah.
Now, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
got a lot of guys,
Just too many bodies.
a
They
lot of men.
Okay, let's take a quick break, Sammy.
Let's do it.
And when we return, the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, plenty more on Real Kyper and Bourne. Don't go away. Welcome back in studio. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. It's the Real Kyper and Bourne show. Let's welcome in John Chayka, general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and maybe a guy that's a little tired after yesterday. Welcome, John. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Just getting going, so we're all good.
Yeah, just tell us about yesterday and the general plan. Did it come together exactly as you thought, or is this a day where you just don't know for sure on some of your targets and whether or not anything can come to fruition or not? It's a matter of domino effect with other teams. Just tell us a little bit about yesterday.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'd say there's probably some principles that we have in terms of roster construction and some of the things we're trying to get done. Credit to the staff. I think they did a great job throughout the season, kind of scenario planning, writing their game reports, making sure that we had the best data possible to then go make decisions. And then, my job is try to, put that stuff in action. So to answer your question, it wasn't as we drew it up. I'm sure there was one scenario of the 1,000 that maybe hit, but for us, the principle of, building through the middle of the ice from the net out, our ability to attract, the top free agent goaltender, the top defenseman in the market, feels like a pretty good, omen for the group and the organization, the player group, and like I said, ownership and management. So, we're pretty excited about that.
John, I was curious just at the way the sort of day shook out. We saw you guys announce some signings. Then Nick Paul was announced maybe 4 hours after noon or whatever it was. Was that something going into the day that you had anticipated being able to get Paul, or did that sort of become available after you had made some other signings?
We had spent a lot of time on the center market, and it's a hard market. I think 20 teams were also spent a lot of time on it. Julian and I had a lot of discussions about the goaltenders. Julian's a smart manager, and I think he's always looking for option A, B, C as well. And that one came together. It wasn't a guy that we thought in that center group that we'd spent a lot of time on that, he could be available. And when it became possible, certainly we paid a fair price. But, hopefully it's one of those hockey trades where each side gets what they're after. For us, character guy, champion, big centerman, with some high upside and a lot of stability through the middle of the ice was something that we thought was pretty attractive.
You're watching and listening to John Chayka, general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. John, speaking of goaltending, if it's one thing that screams, we want to win now, we have to win now, it's the signing of Bobrovsky. And at soon-to-be age 38, if I'm not mistaken, it's clear that Florida didn't want to go any further than maybe giving him a contract or 2 years. You stepped it up, gave him the third year. At his age, coming off a subpar year for him at that age, what is it that makes you still believe that he can hit a very high level coming to the Toronto Maple Leafs when others say, you know what, this is just what happens at this age, guys fall off? Yeah.
I'd say, thinking about the entire goaltending group, that's what gives us a lot of confidence in the bet. We think that Anthony Stolarz is still a top goalie in the league, and he's done that now for a few years. But, availability and some injury, call it unluckiness, I guess, has occurred. So to have the tandem there, we think is really powerful. And certainly Sergei leading that. With his durability, his availability, the type of person he is, how he looks after his body, that gave us a lot of comfort. Obviously we understand the risk involved as well, but we felt like when we looked at the kind of portfolio that we'd have with AA down below as well, high ceiling guy who's probably on the other side of that curve, where's he going to go in his development? We felt really good about the change we made, right? I think we had a good goaltending pipeline when I came into this. The problem we had was it was a little bit all the same. Good goalies, some good performances. What we were going to get night to night, we weren't sure. And so now this kind of mixture of high upside veteran ability, guy that's done it but has some durability issues, and then this young player coming up behind him. We really like that mix, and we think about risk. We think about the whole portfolio. We actually think it's a bit de-risked, actually.
John, one of the things that you had talked about was flexibility and having it's pretty clear that some of these guys you got have clear roles, right? Some guys are going to kill penalties for you and take draws in the D zone and maybe free up your forwards a bit. I am curious a little bit about what you think of just about depth scoring. And we've been covering this team for a lot of years, and often that's been a struggle. Do you see that coming more from the back end with Radish involved and Andre, or do you feel like this is a better group that way, or is that still something you want to shore up?
I think it's one of those things where, again, you look at the mix, and I think we got about 6 centers, guys that have played up the middle or can play up the middle. And again, I think what I was, really hammering our group on is we always put up these lineups in June and look at them one way. And then, training camp, one guy goes down, and, October, November, 3 guys go down. And what does that look like? And so we do feel like we have much better depth. You look on the scoring front, I would say, everyone's got to contribute. It's the National Hockey League. It's not like we're going to just load up 2 lines. At the same time, when you do have a few special players, we do think we have those, not just good players, but guys that are elite offensively. I'd say you want to put them in positions to have success. I don't think it makes sense always starting them in the D zone or put them up against every team's top line all the time. They can do it. They love doing it. They're competitors. But when we're trying to get the most out of our offense, I'd say it's important. If you look at it historically, it's really hard to produce in some of those situations. So I think it's more about like an optimization problem, and how can we put guys, and again, in the chairs that they have had success in, and some of the guys we signed. They might have not scored 20 goals, but you put them in a D zone, you put them up against top competition, and they're going to make it a hard night for the other team. They're going to do a good job of exiting the zone, getting the puck transition to the other zone, and getting off. And there's a value to that.
John, I won't mention specific names because they're under contract with another team right now, but your fan base was awfully excited the last 24 hours about a certain defenseman who could have been a Toronto Maple Leaf. That didn't happen. In saying that, the pursuit to maybe get a bona fide number 1 defenseman, am I safe to say that you don't have one? Do you need one? Do you need to still be on the market for one moving forward? Or is this collective group on the blue line good enough to satisfy JB with some added offense?
Yeah, I think we made a pretty good bet on Darren Radish. 70-point defenseman, played against tough competition, certainly brings an element on the top power play. So, we think he checks a lot of boxes. But like you said, I think, it's going to be a group approach. I'd say conceptually and purely philosophically, I think the general manager's job is to star hunt first and foremost. And, this game can be changed by, a few players, top players making a big impact on a franchise. So, the depth piece matters, how you fill out a roster, how you manage the cap. That's all, kind of necessary, but not maybe sufficient. I think about, the role of the general manager and their ability to go out and big game hunt. And I think that's kind of priority number 1.
Looking at some of the acquisitions, how do you see Jack Roslovic? Like, where in your lineup do you see him starting out?
Yeah, it's he's a guy that at his age, we've seen some growth, we've seen some maturity, we've seen some of the deficiencies, become neutral. And when you combine that with the fact that he's got speed, skill, playmaking, one of the better puck transporters, we think there's a few fits. Certainly could play the wing and play with some of our centermen who could score. John and Austin are obviously great scorers, so a guy that can transport the puck and make plays helps. Again, if there's injuries, if there's a dip, if we're looking for some easier offense, he's a guy that can slide in the middle and give us some skating through the middle of the ice and try to push the pace a bit. So we like him because of the versatility. And Jim and I were working through it today even, how do some of these pieces fit? And, obviously we did that prior to making the acquisitions as well. But the reality is that, again, we all have these plans, then the gun goes off and things change. So we just want to make sure we have, I always say to our staff, like, if we were getting a player and he only fits in one spot, we're really tying the hands of the coach. It's really hard. And if that doesn't work, then what, right? And so guys like Jack, who's down the flip side, you say, where does he fit? Well, he fits in a few places, and I think that's a good thing.
John, your American Hockey League team, the Toronto Marlies, of course, Calder Cup champions, like I was in 1998. The 3 of you weren't born back then, so, I thought I'd throw that in. But, John, prior to yesterday, there was a few players on those teams that would look at the parent club and go, yeah, there's a spot open for me. I'm going to go into training camp, and I just won the championship, and there's not a better time now to show everybody I'm ready for the NHL. And yet you guys went and spent almost $25 million yesterday filling up a lot of those spots. What do you say to those kids today?
Yeah, I think it's open competition. I don't think there's any more meritocratic system than professional sports. So, I understand what the contracts look like, and I don't think ownership's ever been afraid of having money in the minors. So if there's a player that's ready, our directive to Jim and his staff is ice the best lineup that gives us the best chance to win games. And I agree, there's players down the Marlies that have that ability, and we just spoke about a lot of them, and they were considered, and they're in different iterations of the roster come training camp where it's open competition. So I think competition makes us all better. I think it's, an opportunity for all these players to come in and win jobs. And there's always food on the table kind of opportunities. And I don't think we box anybody out from anything.
John, can I ask you just a two-parter? It's wondering where things sit with Morgan Riley, and that kind of blends into if you think you're going to be more active, any more moves this summer, what the next couple months look like for you.
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to explore some things that we, discussed the draft, or, we had some discussions around free agency, but, these things are hard too. So it's hard to forecast exactly what could fall. Certainly, we think we've got some good stability through our lineup now. If we can add difference makers, I think we should always be trying to do that. And it does feel like there might be some more liquidity in the market in these July, August months than maybe past. So we'll keep at it. I think with regards to Morgan, like, we're talking about a really good defenseman. So, for us, where we're trying to go, he's been a leader, he's the longest tenured Leaf, nothing but total respect for him. And again, as we look to improve the group, we'll always consider everything. But I would say at this juncture, Morgan's a big part of this.
Last one for me, John, and just maybe an update on Max Domi, where a lot of the moves yesterday with the anticipation that he may not be available to you guys to start the season or perhaps the whole season. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, he's progressing, which is the best news for everyone. He's really been doing a great job, and as you guess with him, surpassing everyone's expectations. So those are all good things. Like I said, he'll come to camp. We'll get kind of more of a firm medical view at that point. Right now, the most important part is that he's getting better and feeling good and making progress, and he's doing all those things. So, I think Max is going to be a big part of this. When that occurs is just a guess. So I'll save myself from guessing, other to say that, we're excited about the progress he's made.
Does that create any cap challenge for you, trying to figure out what you have available to spend?
No, I think we're in a pretty good place. And, there's some things we can do if we need to make space. So we're really comfortable with where we're at in that regard. And feel like we got lots of flexibility.
All right, John, we really appreciate your time. I know it's a busy one. And once again, really thankful for that you found time for us today. Thanks for doing
Anytime.
this.
Appreciate it, man.
Guys.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
John Chayka,
Take care.
General Manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right, let's recap. What do you think?
The thing I absolutely love, and you guys will probably be able to guess what I love, is the big game hunting mentality.
Yeah.
Like, you need stars, you need top guys to win in any league.
Hard to get.
I think other league, maybe, basketball is the most important. NHL is a very team. I understand that. But the top dogs matter, and I love that he said that. That, to me, out of everything, that makes me feel good.
It's the mentality, I think, of ownership, too, because Kawhi Leonard is like, that's a big one right there.
It's funny. You can feel the swing in Toronto. Like, the Raptors were kind of the cool team for a minute there, right?
Yep.
When Kawhi was there and they were competitive, and all of a sudden when there's not a star, it definitely takes some of the shine off. So you can see the appeal. Yeah. Leafs fortunately have a couple of stars, but obviously could use it's been a long time waiting for a number one D.
Another part of that jumped out to me, the bottom six and the defensive zone stuff. I wonder how much, like, they obviously went and had a meeting with Matthews and talked about what Matthews wants to do and what his outlook is. He's like, can I not start in the D zone every game? And do I not have to be the first guy over the boards on every penalty kill? Like, I think that probably was playing into a lot of this, because
Did it cost him 10, 15 goals, 20 goals? Did he?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it's not like he looked awesome.
No, he looked
No.
quite bad. It's not like it was all Berube's fault.
No.
I hate when
At the end of the day,
all
I
the zone
yeah.
starts.
I
It was
don't
no
care.
good.
I don't care where you start on a face-off.
You're allowed to go that way.
But you're also allowed to show some jam too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, last year was tough.
It was
His
tough.
numbers last year.
Yeah.
I was looking at
I
it
like-
today. Really.
I didn't mind his answer on the Marlies. And I know, listen, I only asked it because I was one of those guys. And I've been with guys on the team where it's like, okay, we just want to call their cup. Who's going to make the Flyers now? Who's going where? And it's like, we've earned this right. We worked hard to get
They're like,
noticed.
good job, Pizzetta. Here's Zach McEwen.
And it's like,
It's oh.
no, not so fast. We're going to pay you to be in the minors.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and if we call you up and if someone gets hurt and we pay to play, and we'll decide where it's going to be if you're under contract, and that's it.
I love that Leafs mentality where it's like, all right, we had the opportunity to give Cowan and Danford these awesome experiences where we're going to surround these guys with real players. So they're like, we got Cole McWard today. You know, he's played 10 NHL games and played 60 in the American League last year. He's going to make $900K for the Marlies. You know, like that's just if you need him, you can handle some minutes.
Yeah.
It's good.
The other thing is clear that they know that it's the time's up for Morgan Riley. They're just not going to give him away.
Yeah, that's the impression you got from
Oh,
that.
yeah. And they're very respectful. And once again, they acknowledge, his
More
longevity.
liquidity in the market.
And
anyway,
we just saw Darnell go to San Jose. And of course, he didn't want to go 3 weeks ago when he could have gone. And then he changes his mind and he goes, which is fine. And is there a
you don't
scenario?
think they do Nurse and Riley?
No. I mean, that
San Jose?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
No.
They committed 9 to Nurse. They just committed 8.25 to Trouba. They're not picking up 7.5 of Morgan.
No.
So they're just gonna wait it out.
Think Morgan would go play for his beloved Vancouver Canucks or somewhere where it's not competitive? Tough to see.
You kind of need him.
Whatever your thoughts were,
like
you gotta expand it a little bit. And how quickly do you want a fresh change Morgan, right?
It's brutal because I get the point that he might be okay on your second pair or third pair. He might be okay. But it just feels like one of those things that you can't truly turn things over to be a new team until it happens.
Feels like he's kind of on the top pair right now.
Right.
It
could be Riley Radish day one.
They didn't sign a D-man yesterday. Did they? It was all
No,
forwards?
it's just Andre and Tanev.
Yeah.
You have 3 new guys with Radish, Tanev, and Andre essentially.
I mean, you have a lot of forwards here.
And
It's
Leaf fans still
there's
wait.
liquidity in the market. So
Leaf fans still wait for a number one type of guy, right? That's eluded them since Boria saw me.
okay, so this is. I mean, you're going to hate this conversation, but this is a relevant one that Leaf fans are having right now. The 72 conversation is happening right now.
McKenna wearing 72.
Yeah.
Bobrovsky wearing 72.
Yeah.
And they asked McKenna about it today.
Yeah.
And he said he's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. I'd obviously give it to him.
That's the right answer.
Okay. And
he,
we're on the same page then.
It's not
All
even
the same page?
not even a question mark.
Good.
It's not even a question mark.
Good.
If McKenna takes 72 over Bobrovsky, I don't like him.
I
don't like him.
I hate to agree, but I don't know.
I don't like
The only
him.
thing is here, did you ever play with anyone who doesn't care what number they wear?
No, everybody cares.
No, that's not true at all. That's a stupid thing to say.
Okay.
Some people are just like, give me whatever. I
Okay.
don't actually care.
Yeah.
Bob wore 35
Yeah.
in Columbus.
Yeah. No.
No,
If
he wore 72 in Columbus, 35 in
Listen,
Okay, but he's like,
even
I
if
don't
he
care.
doesn't care,
Give me 9. I don't care.
even if he doesn't care, you tell Bob that's not the way it works. The way it works is you're the future Hall of Famer. This kid who's done nothing yet
Uh-huh.
doesn't
Look, you're all like mad at him. He's
doesn't come in and dictate. Okay,
He literally said today
You
the
don't-
exact correct
you
thing.
don't get
gonna be a long year
entitlement
next year.
at 18 on a number.
It's going to be a long year with McKenna next year. I
Okay.
can feel it already.
You don't get entitlement on your number. So put that conversation to bed.
I'm just saying there's a chance that Bob's like, I just don't care. Give me whatever.
No, and then it looks like that the kid kind of
It does.
But everyone,
gets his.
It's kind of a
gets his way.
no-win for Gavin, where he's like,
No, there is a win. You do what he just did, which I love him now.
well,
even more.
The obvious thing, and everyone's saying it, is he's got to wear 12. The lottery ball was 12. It looks like 72.
It's a great number.
Rock 1-2.
Great number.
My number.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm not a 12 fan.
What? You're 19?
Buddy, I was
He
everything.
didn't care what he wore. He was one of those guys that wore 5 numbers in the NHL.
When I saw, so I go to training camp, the year I was supposed to make the Flyers, in training camp back then, it wasn't cool to wear 56
No.
It was like,
still not
you're
cool.
in no plans, okay? We give high numbers to guys that have no chance to make the team in training camp.
Yeah.
And then I go into my 1 year in training camp and there's 21.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
21.
That's a good number.
And I think Dave Brown just left that year. They gave me his number. And I'm like, yes! I got
A real number.
A real NHL number.
Yeah, I think I wore something in the 50s or 60s at Islanders camp. It wasn't good.
I mean, not outside of the most famous ones, the Yager, Lemieux, Gretzky, all these famous.
Yeah.
What do you think the best hockey number is?
9.
9.
I think 9 and 19 have a good history.
9
between them.
is the most
Sakic
historic
and Yzerman and
NHL number in history.
Gordie Howe.
Nothing. Richard,
Clark
Hall,
Gillies.
Clark Gillies, 9. Buddy, 9.
I think the Mount Rushmore of hockey numbers
This
would
is a
be
great conversation.
9, 19. I love 16.
How do you?
And then I love, a 20s number. 21. You could give me 24, 29. I like 20 numbers.
24 ended the combo at
24.
24.
29. I don't mind. I like 24.
But
too,
I was
yeah.
a big Brian Glennie fan, but,
I like those numbers.
24.
And then I guess you could do 97 or whatever you want. 91.
To me,
I like the
anything
90s.
sub 20 is pretty decent.
So
Except for the
it-
single digit
so,
even
So
numbers.
it is a big thing then, eh? For 72.
But I think Gavin can't, even if they go into the locker room and Bobrovsky says to Gavin, I literally don't care.
Yeah.
I'll wear 30. You have it. He insists that Gavin has it.
But
Real Kipper next year.
McKenna-
It's entitled, kid.
Mc-
It's a no-win situation.
McKenna would be better off just leaving it in the closet. Okay? If you don't want it, that's fine. You
The
don't have
guy
to
who
have
doesn't
it.
care about jerseys
I'm still
or
not
numbers.
taking it.
Yeah.
I'm still not taking it.
Okay.
It's just out of respect.
Okay.
Right? The rookie veteran thing has to be in play here, or else we've learned nothing over our lifetime in a dressing room.
10's a good number, too. I like
So next year, if the Leafs are playing the Florida Panthers and it's going to be violence on the ice,
Mhm.
who do they play? Zach McEwen at that point? Duhaime?
I don't know. I mean,
Who's Pizzetta? Or do you play hockey?
You call up a guy just to fight,
Scott Sabrin's making a living off it in Tampa Bay. I don't know.
but he played too in key games, didn't he?
I don't know. Not much.
Playoffs?
He's not. He's not a guy. He's not a capital.
I don't
guy.
know. I mean, I'm a little torn on that. I'd like Duhaime
Mhm.
just to be that guy. Why don't you just do what a guy that gets called up is supposed to do?
Yeah. No, and I think he certainly can.
What did they give him? 2.5?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, bud. You're not coming in here to be a player. You're here to be big and mean and run people over and fight.
Yeah. We talked about this before the show. I don't know how much he'll fight, but more than Steve Lorenz will. I think he had 5 fights last year.
He fought somebody
Yeah.
named W. Lockwood. No, that's 2024. 2026.
Washington-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Carberry,
All right. 8 fights last year?
Yeah.
That must be near
they
the
let him.
top.
They let him go in Washington because Carberry couldn't find a role for him.
I guess they're going to be the worst team in the
Right.
league, Kip.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
No, just know your role.
Mistake.
Know your role. That's my point.
Yes.
So I say that, and you think I think they're going to stink.
Well, we just spent an hour with me saying, I actually don't think they're that bad.
I gotta. You know what? I don't want to sit here for an hour with you guys with pom poms on. All right, leading the parade.
It's reasonable to say they're going to be okay.
Be realistic
They'll
here.
be fine.
I agree
Okay.
with
They're
all
in the
of that.
playoff mix.
Sammy's just sucked you right in, JB.
I'm a positive guy, Kip. I can't help
I
it.
got to
would say-
balance it out a little bit here.
By throwing the crap on the scale.
No, not at all. What are we going to say about the Edmonton Oilers then?
Oh, boy.
Jason Gregor next when we return. It is the National Hour on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We are live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. If you miss our show, you can always catch it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where we always appreciate a thumbs up. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Plenty to get into. Edmonton Oilers. Jason Gregor will join us as well. Does a terrific job covering the Edmonton Oilers. In the meantime, Ovechkin back.
Yeah, it's a. We were talking about jersey numbers in the first hour. That's a signature of the grade 8 Ovi. That is one of the synonymous.
You can tell a player when they come in and they think they're going to do something special, and they're like, I'm going to wear something weird to make it my own. I always felt that with Matthews. That was
34 is weird.
Deal.
1 year deal.
Retire for
that will carry an AAV of $4.25 million. It's a $1 million salary. I think the rest in bonus. And
if he plays 10 games, it's $9 million.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of speculation yesterday that he may shut it down, but it would have been really, really weird to me that the greatest goal scorer in NHL history goes through this kind of window of just like nothing, no news, and left the regular season very quiet, and then just kind of retires. Like that's the way I did it. Not the best goal scorer in NHL history. Like,
but then you're George Costanza, leave on the joke. You know, it's great. Everyone's like, he was awesome. I don't want to. No, because Ovi is not George Costanza. No, he's not. The Capitals are pretty good. Like, the additions of Kyrou and Tuck were not nothing, guys. I mean, that Protas is good. Dylan Strome, Ovi,
the brothers.
Dubois, both of them. Kyrou, Ryan Leonard, Tom Wilson.
I just don't know, like, what can we expect out of him, and what can he expect out of himself? What can he expect out of the Washington Capitals to play him, manage his minutes? Is he going to just sit there again for 2 minutes on the power play and pad his stats?
That's, to me, what you're saying right there. And listen, like, we haven't been exactly painted as the most positive Ovi show over our 5 years.
We don't have to.
No,
I don't have to like everything.
I respect him. Sure. I respect his play.
Out of his hockey.
But, like, like you just said, this is a good team. This is a good NHL hockey
and he's still a good shooter.
For sure, no question.
And he can put it in the net.
But is this year about...
I don't know.
About hockey? Or is it the Ovi tour? Because every rink it goes to, we're going to have to do this whole thing, and it's going to be about him. He's going to have to say goodbye. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, does he need to announce that this is his last season officially so he can go on the Kopitar campaign and
get a motorbike everywhere he goes before the game?
Dishes and candlesticks. Candlesticks make a good gift.
I'm told. All my friends are using candlesticks these days.
Oh, yeah. They're just burning candles every night.
A real long one. But, yeah, it is going to be funny to see.
Or does he say nothing?
Yeah, we're just going to do it every year. He's going to Brett Favre it. Excuse me.
Eventually get mad and go play for the Penguins?
I don't know. I don't know what we can expect.
They're not going to want him back, so he'll go play for a rival club? That'd be awesome. I don't know. I
kind of just wish he was like,
but it makes it a little awkward.
Agreed.
I think it's going to be not awkward. This will be his last year. Everyone's going to.
Okay, so you think that announcement's coming?
I don't think he has to announce it for us all to know. He just.
So how do we? What do we do when he comes into our city? Do we,
You think he has to announce it for people?
I don't
to say,
know.
Here's
I think people are asking. People are asking.
Yeah.
Like me.
Like, do we?
I don't want to do it every year.
Do we need to thank him? Do we acknowledge him? Do they gift him? I don't know.
I don't know.
We are talking about the greatest goal scorer
in the history
our
of the NHL.
history. Yeah. So I think these questions need to be answered.
And you've made
Barry Bonds he's got the most home runs in Major League Baseball history.
Oh yeah, but he may.
He's beloved too, right?
Yeah, there's a bit of an issue there. That's kind of
his head grew a couple sizes. That guy, in more than one way.
People who have Ovi issues. I
think, like, to Kipper's point, if he announces it, he deserves the retirement tour. you talk about
Of course he does.
you talk about Kopitar,
Yeah.
and I think you didn't like that last year. You thought it kind of took away from.
I thought it's a heavy burden
Yeah.
on 20 other guys too to kind of continue to watch this and
Yeah.
feel it. And it was kind of crazy. I know maybe we'll talk about the LA Kings, and I'm really thinking about getting my skates and going to
I was
training
going to say
camp.
they're going to have 4 retirement tours this year.
I would just be like middle aged there,
Yeah.
right? Between
Perry at 41, you had Doughty,
Zuccarello,
Panarin.
But I just think overall,
What was the movie with the old guys? That was like I forget. Anyways,
I don't think it does the team and the organization any favors to have this constant sideshow.
I agree, but it's different for Ovi. I think. Like I don't love Ovi clearly, but like if there's a guy that deserves the adulation of every rink of going into, it's the greatest goal scorer in the history of the game.
Listen, I'm not denying that, and I'm not saying that there's ways to avoid it. I'm just saying like the basic principles of doing that is really no different than what Kopitar went through, and it's tiresome. It just gets tiresome
I think it's worse for the Capitals.
on a team that's supposed to win.
Kopitar had an amazing career, and he's a Stanley Cup champion, a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But he's not Ovi.
Can I tell you, though, this whole thing, these are separate things. Yes, he should get hit this whole tour thing. But I think this is worse for the Capitals, him coming back, than if he didn't.
Agreed.
I don't think he's going to provide plus value. I think he's going to take a spot from someone on the power play there who might have got their mojo going and been important on the team. The sideshow, if it does happen, could take away from things. I don't know that if you run the simulation with Ovi and without Ovi next year, that the Capitals are better with him. He's going to score 26 goals this year and be a 0 rating defensive player.
Will he have a defensive zone start?
Right. Would he have won last year?
Yeah, I think
Give me an early Bet365 on Ovi starting this season, but not finishing the season.
Ooh.
Is this just him being like, I don't got it. I got to go.
I'm too slow. I'm done.
Yeah, I just
I got
tried.
4 goals in
I
4 goals in the first game. Probably.
There's some nights I'm 12 minutes, 13 minutes. I'm not having fun anymore. I should just kind of shut it down. Now.
Yeah, I think that's one of the options. I could see that playing out. How much pressure is on Carberry to be like, this is Ovi. You have to use him a certain way.
If you listen to Carberry, he's completely said all the right things and welcome him with open arms. We'll have a beer with him. He knows this is so much bigger than him.
Yeah.
So he's.
I mean,
if
that's
the owner
tough too, though. He's the head coach.
I know,
and a great head coach, in my opinion.
But even players would understand that if the owner and Ovi say he's going to play 15 minutes, then I got to play him for 15 minutes. If it's 17, if it's the whole power play, and it's been decided between Ovi and the owner, then just deliver it.
The Ovi slap shot's funny because he could do it till he's 50. He could rip that one timer,
and he will be for CSK Moscow.
Yeah.
He was the blue. He was Dynamo. He was. I remember because I remember talking about. Oh, he likes blue and white. He's a blue. Like early in his career, anyways. Yeah, stupid stuff we say.
We do say stupid stuff. All right, can we do?
And you think Washington can compete with Carolina next year?
I like Carolina better, but I do think Washington is
improved
now.
Much
in
improved.
that, like, the only thing with the Caps is their third pair is, drum roll please, Sandin Liljegren.
No way.
Yeah.
I forgot that
they're Chikrin, Roy, Fehervary, Desharnais, who they gave $16.8 million to, by the way.
The lily pad just resigned, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think you got it.
Lily.
That's crazy.
Pair. That's a tough third pair to have. You use them in D minutes. I guess you use them. They've always been that middling. So they can't say the Caps are up here for me, but their forward group is very big and fast and scary.
Who were we just talking about?
Ovi.
About someone didn't want to wait.
More.
Ferraro,
Mario Ferraro.
Yeah.
The Leafs had interest, but they told him they had to wait till they traded Riley, and he didn't want to wait.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of that's true. I saw it online.
Oh, I didn't see that. Missed that one.
Pagnotta.
I don't know. You just told it to me 2 seconds ago, and it kind of reminded me on.
Sorry to whomever I just
we're gonna be Joycing. Oh, he's ready right now. Jason Gregor, host of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 in Edmonton. Plenty Oiler news out there. Jason, how are you?
Fellas, I'm good. Happy day after Canada Day. I'm still looking Canadian today.
You are.
All
Nice.
right. Plenty to get into with you over the Edmonton Oilers, from who's behind the bench to Darnell Nurse to goaltending. But let's start with Nurse first, because my understanding was that he had one of three wishes: Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Boston, and said no to San Jose. And then yesterday changed his mind. Any idea why he changed his mind?
Well, I think he realized the offers from Philly and Boston just weren't what Edmonton was going to make. Edmonton wasn't forced to have to make a trade here. And next summer, Nurse had a no-trade list of only 10 teams. So, at least this way, he had more of a say still in where he wanted to go. I think a big reason why he wanted to go east was family reasons. Both him and his wife, grandparents are closer, so I can understand that. But when that wasn't going to come to fruition, they had more of conversations. Now, I couldn't get confirmation if the Sharks, Mike Greer had a conversation with him or not. I would guess yes, but I can't say that 100%. And I'm guessing maybe in that conversation, he looked and said, hey, this is our plan. You're coming here. There's Macklin Celebrini. There's lots of other good young pieces, Michael Misa, et cetera. I just took a few draft picks, so away you go. And Darnell, he felt it was time in Edmonton. The organization had kind of asked him originally if he was interested in waiving his no movement clause. So, well, he did submit the list. It wasn't like this was initially his idea.
So looking at the Oilers a day, with the draft behind us and free agency behind us, the roster pretty much the same. Couple of new D's, Shea Mukamadulin, if I'm saying that right. Good try. And Freddie Anderson. How do you feel? Have they made any substantial change?
Well, the biggest change probably is the fact that they actually have cap space for the first time that I can remember, right? So they've got like $7.5 million, and they've got all their guys signed. Like, actually, they're going to carry three goalies. Mm-hmm. That's my understanding: Anderson, Jari, and Devin Levi. And I think it's fair to say, guys, that there's some question marks here, because, Freddie Anderson, he's not a 55-game starter anymore. Right? You look at what he's like last year. He started 35, 22, 19, 33, I think, his last 4 years. So he has a history of injuries. No one can debate that. So Tristan Jarry didn't have that history, but the last 2 years he has. So between the two of them, can they play enough games? And then maybe Devin Levi is your third stringer who plays 20. I think that's their strategy. They don't have a lot of money tied up in their goaltending now. Freddie Anderson, when healthy, I don't think anybody debates he's a good goalie. But the when healthy is a fact that you can't overlook. On defense, Darnell Nurse doesn't miss any games. He's only missed 18 games in the last 9 years. And your best ability is dependability. So he always shows up. Now, Ryan Shea had a great year in Pittsburgh, and I looked up, his minutes played. I look up who he played against. He's a second-pair defenseman, and with Bouchard and Murphy on your right side, those are your top two defense on the right side. You got Wallman, Ekholm, and Shea now on the left side. My concern is the Oilers don't have an overly physical blue line right now. It's not overly big, but, Ryan O'Shea, is he competitive enough? Yes. I think he will make less of the big errors that Nurse would make every now and then. But more importantly, I think it just gives them flexibility that now they can go to the trade deadline. And if they're missing pieces, they don't have to just, try to scrimp and scratch and claw. They'll have significant amount of cap space to actually add some players. And I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if, we already had a trade today, Calgary, Minnesota. I don't think the summer of trades in the NHL are done just because free agency's passed. I think there's a lot of teams that are still going to be looking to make some moves.
The name Jamie Alexiak was, I think, on their radar too, and that never obviously came to fruition as he ended up signing in Vancouver. But that's the type of guy you think they still need.
I think so. I think you need somebody. Now, Mark Madulin. Now, I got varying reports on him, guys. He's a young D-man. He's a former first-round pick, but that really means nothing 5 years later. It just means you're used to be a first-round pick. That's all it means. Mm-hmm. So, he's 6'4", 210. He'll come into Edmonton, and he's probably going to battle with Ty Emberson for the third pair right defense, even though he's a left shot. He played most of last season on the right side. I don't know overall if their defense is better, because I looked at it and I said, here is their top 5 D-men to start last year. Ekholm, Wallman, Bouchard, they're still here. Nurse and Kulak are gone, and now you've got Murphy and Ryan Shea. So is it a little bit of a downgrade? Probably, but I don't think it's drastic when you consider how much extra cap space they have. In goal, now you're going to have Jari Anderson compared to starting last year with Pickard and Skinner. Some would say that's an upgrade. And then up front, like when you've got McDavid and Draisaitl, like, come on. It'd be nice, like, yes, they're going to play less because they got a new head coach. And if they play less, hopefully their bottom guys chip in. But Jason Dickinson at the start of the year is an upgrade from an aging Adam Henrique, right? Many years ago, Henrique would be better, no question, because he's a much better offensive player. But right now, Dickinson's better. So, Matt Savoy's in his second year in the NHL. He had a really good rookie season. And we'll see about Isaac Howard. Can he come in? And I think he's the guy who has the best chance to take Jack Rosovic's spot.
Okay. The Oilers, fascinating group, right? Because everyone still believes they're Stanley Cup contenders, and last year only had 93 points. Mike Babcock comes in. Are things going to change? Do you think that Mike will be a significant factor in the change in points accumulated this year?
Well, I wrote the article 2 days after the season ended, and I said the Oilers shouldn't panic. Their team isn't that bad. And I said they're primed to have a good start next year. They'll be rested for the first time in a few years. And they're going to be embarrassed because the veterans admitted that they kind of, I think, underestimated the importance of the regular season. They thought they could just flip a switch. Like they didn't win. They won 3 games in a row twice all year, and it didn't happen until like March. Mm-hmm. So they'll come in, they're hungry, they're rested, and now guess what? They got a new head coach. And if you look at this group, when Chris Knobloch came in, they went on fire. When Jay Woodcroft came in, they were on fire. When Dave Tippett came in, they were on fire. So I don't even know if it's going to be Babcock specifically. Clearly, these guys said they want to be coached harder, and we'll see. I know I asked Mike the question. He said, well, I'm harder on the skill guys. But then when I talked to players who coached under him, they're like, I'm not really sure that's true. So we'll have to see if it's going to be the bottom guys or not. But guys will have a few more minutes at the bottom level. And I think Edmonton, they're good enough, like outside of Vegas in the Pacific Division, there's no dominant team. And I think it'll be Edmonton and Vegas again. And I would be stunned, guys, if Edmonton doesn't finish top 2 in the Pacific and probably has more points than they had last year. The only way I see them taking a step back is if one of McDavid or Draisaitl suffer a serious injury.
So speaking of coaches who are hard on, skilled guys, I kind of had a front row seat to a guy like Mike Keenan. And now I'm wondering, Babcock comes in and under the same kind of umbrella there, they're hard on the skilled guys, but especially the underachieving skilled guys. So tell me, Jason, on that roster, who has the most to worry about a guy like Babcock leaning on them?
Well, it's a good question, Kyper. It's not going to be McDavid and Draisaitl. Like those guys, Zach Hyman loves Babcock. He likes him. I guess if I had to pick one, I guess maybe Nugent Hopkins would probably fall into that category. I think Matt Savoy, just because he's a young player. Babcock doesn't have a history of being, overly chummy with his young players. So I think Ike Howard and Matt Savoy would probably be there. But as far as a veteran guy, I would say Nugent Hopkins. Like, I'd be stunned if the coach doesn't like Vasily Podkolzin. Like, the guy's work ethic is off the charts. I don't see how you could not like him. Kapanen played for him. He had 20-goal season in Toronto. So, and Kapanen's played pretty well here in Edmonton. He was their best forward in the playoffs. So, yeah, I guess if I have to pick someone, it'll be Nuge. But then the other wild card in all of this, guys, is Trent Frederick.
Yeah, I was going to mention his name.
If he can be the Trent Frederick in Boston when he was a third liner who played with some energy, scored 17, 18 goals, majority of them at 5-on-5, he's a very valuable player. But since coming to Edmonton, man, he's been a ghost. So, yeah, he's a guy here who has to get going.
Can I just quickly ask you why? Why? What is the feeling? He lost an edge. He got soft with an 8-year deal. What happened?
Well, the high ankle sprain, I do think impacted his first year here. I think that's valid. I've seen guys try to play through it, and you can play, Kyper, but I'm sure you played with guys who, they were healthy enough to play, but they're not healthy enough to be effective, right? And I think that was it. Last year, I don't know, man. He like everyone says, well, he had no confidence early. I'm like, what are you talking about? He scored a great goal 4 games into the season on a breakaway in New York against Shesterkin of all goalies, and they won the game. Well, it was a game-winning goal. So I'm like, if you're a depth guy and you score 1 every 4 games, you're pretty happy, right? So, and Knobloch gave him an opportunity. He's not a top-line guy, but, they tried to help him build his confidence. But to me, he finally got better when Colton Dach came in the lineup. And Colton Dach is a young player who's got a lot of piss and vinegar and plays hard. And it seemed like, because Edmonton didn't have a lot of those guys. And I think Frederic, he might be a guy who needs that. He looked like a guy, Kyper, honestly, his confidence was like, it was on a milk carton. It was MIA. And it's funny, but I've seen guys lose their confidence for a 20-game stretch, a 25-game stretch. Heck, look at your city. Look at Vladdy Guerrero. The guy can't swing a bat right now. So I look at Frederic, and his skill level isn't the level of Vladdy. And so when he loses his confidence, you go from a third line to a fifth liner pretty quickly.
I also see a lot of guys sign a bigger deal than people expect, and then they struggle. There's something about fair. I need to live up to this. And I really expect a bounce back season from him in particular. The one question that's killing me watching all these free agent signings, why can Kapanen only get a 1-year deal? I just watched Roslovic get 2 times 4 for 8. Kapanen gets 1 times 2.6. I thought he was awesome in playoffs. He's fast, he hits, he shoots. I mean, why can't this guy get a team to commit?
Buddy, if we sat most people down and came and watched a practice, no numbers on the jersey, you'd see McDavid and Draisaitl be like, okay, those guys are good. Who's that 42 guy?
Totally.
Jeez. Right? This guy, you're right, he does everything. Now, he did get it double salary from last one, so that's good for him. I wondered if, why he didn't get at least 2-year deal. It's a fair question. I don't know if the organization didn't want it, he didn't want it, but he's still probably in a little bit of a show-me situation. But he showed me the last 2 playoffs that his skill level's never the issue, guys. It's just finding that consistency, which is really what separates a lot of guys. But you're right, because look at some of the contracts that guys are like, hey, I love Jeffrey Vial and how hard he works, but look at his contract. Zach Ostapachuk had 7 points, and he got a 4-year deal from San Jose. Right. So when you made the point about Trent Frederic, I think Trent Frederic looks around the league now, and he's like, oh, I just have an average contract.
Totally.
Okay, great.
Back to normal.
Jason, just one more for me, and it just feels like with the whole Babcock situation, not just that he was signed, Jason, but how he was signed. And it just feels, listen, Stan Bowman's still there. We know Jeff Jackson's still there. That's not changed. They still hold the same titles. But this whole thing, since the Babcock news, has felt like this Edmonton Oilers team is running by committee right now. And is it the first sign that if this doesn't work, then we are most definitely looking at this whole thing blowing up?
Oh, no question, Kyper. I'll say this. I've been writing and reporting for a long time. I don't know if I've ever received as many texts and DMs from former players, current players, agents in regards to the Babcock, and because I wrote a few articles about it, and there's lots of former players not afraid to, and hockey guys normally don't say much, to be honest. There was a lot of guys that were not afraid to say something, and I had 2 that told me they said, coaching aside, Babcock will eventually try to GM while he coaches. And this is what I was told by people from different organizations, and that's something that I'll be watching, because you cannot have too many people that are if it's a tug of war for power in the organization, what happens is you start having the rope becomes frayed, and it gets weaker in certain spots, and they need to be on the same page, and they're going to need to be very cognizant of saying, hey, this is my role. I'm the GM. You're the coach. Now we can collaborate, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you how to coach. You don't tell me how to GM, and vice versa. And that has to be there, because I think if the lines get blurry too much, that's when problems begin. And we've seen it in lots of other organizations, guys. I'm a firm believer. Like, look at Carolina. Right? Look at even Rod Brindamore and Eric Tulsky said, hey, we don't agree on everything, but we stay in our lane and we respect the other for what they do. And, we've seen that in Tampa. Like, Babcock can have an opinion and he can disagree with Bowman, but it can't get to the point where you start, does he suddenly go to Jackson or try to go to Cates? That cannot happen. Otherwise, it'll be a gong show.
Yeah. So just looking at the West, what do you think changed in terms of the landscape? I look at Anaheim seems to have lost some players. Utah made a couple of big additions. Nashville made some additions. San Jose. Who do you think were major movers in the Western Conference?
Well, Utah, I like. I've thought Utah was trending in the right direction anyway. So I'm very curious to see what Kosa is going to do there. Is he ready? We'll find out. He doesn't have to play a ton, but Vejmelka shouldn't be the most played goalie in the NHL next year for Utah. So I like what they've done. I think Minnesota's competitive. I'm very curious to see, like, Dallas now. Like, does even the Werenski-Harley rumor, what does that do? Maybe nothing, but we'll see. I still think, like, Colorado's good. Vegas is good. Yeah. Edmonton's good. Anaheim, they're waiting on Cutter Gauthier and Leo Carlson contracts. They've got the cap space for it, but look at their blue line, guys. Like, it's taken a lot of hits. So where are they going to go? I'll be curious about that to see if they take a step back, because just because you finally get to the playoffs once doesn't mean the next year you automatically take another step. Ask Ottawa, right? It's not that easy. So I still think the top dogs are the same four top dogs: Colorado, Dallas, Edmonton, Vegas, and Minnesota. I would say 5. And, Utah's maybe pushing up a little bit, but I'm not sure they're that close yet.
Fascinating storylines coming out of the Edmonton Oilers. Jason, always appreciate not only today but all season long coming on our show. Thanks for being there, and we'll catch up soon down the road, okay?
You betcha, boys. I love coming on. Have a great day. Go Canada. Let's have a big win over Morocco.
Thanks, Gregor. Appreciate it, man.
There you go. Jason Gregor, host of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 in Edmonton. Just to get back to this Kapanen thing, you asked.
Yeah, what's the deal?
Just if you ever wonder why, like, some people just don't hold value like you see, you got to go back and just look at the history a little bit. How many teams has he been on? How many could he not stay on? And there's always these underlining situations with certain players off ice. Why can't you stay with the team? I don't know how many teams he's been on. 5 in his career?
Yeah. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I just felt like
that's a big issue
to the Oilers.
And I'm not saying specifically that's why.
Right.
And I'm just saying that when there's doubt, there's the talent level, and then there's the production level. And then it's like, what else am I signing on to?
Right. But it just felt like when he went to the Oilers, it was like, this might be his last shot. I think it was a 1-year, $1 million deal. Let's see if this guy can stay in the NHL. And it was like, oh, there it is. And then he had another great year and then a great playoff run. It was like, okay.
But you want to commit to that.
I just look at the guys who got years. He mentioned Jeffrey Viel getting 5 years, or
right?
The Leafs signing. You wouldn't rather have Kasperi Kapanen than Roslovic?
Roslovic. Okay. Had a pretty good year last year. Yeah. How old is he?
29.
What did the Leafs give him?
2 times 4 for $8 million.
Roslovic scored 20-something times. Kapanen scored 8. Played 40 games or 40. Like,
What was it? Kapanen played
41 games.
41 games, so he's 16 goal pace. It's not that far behind. I don't know. I get it, but to me, it's just strange to me that no one would give him more. Maybe he wants to be in Edmonton. Maybe he thinks he's got a chance at a bigger ticket. Or, maybe there's other ways.
I mean, just at times, you can look at a player and say, okay, I trust that, but I don't trust it to give you multi years.
Freddie Anderson. The Oilers just signed him and said, we'll give you 1 year. Congrats on your cup.
Well, I really don't understand that in terms of grabbing a guy that can only play 30, 35 games.
Didn't pay him anything,
I know. But,
but
again, it's like you need to win now. Mm-hmm. You got to make sure he's the right guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not. He's not.
He just won a cup. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
The only reason,
I
like I said, he was
Playing
great against.
35
He
games.
was great against those two teams.
He played 16 of 19 playoff.
And he-
their playoff.
He wasn't the reason why they made the playoffs, Freddie.
No.
And the reason, okay, no, I'm not going to be mean to Freddie. Game time? Game time.
Game time.
It's game time. Presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. I don't know if you guys know or not, but there is a rather large event today in the city of Toronto.
Did you see Ronaldo hanging out by the hotel?
Pretty awesome.
Did I see it? I left here yesterday, left early. Hey, boys, thanks for finishing off that segment without me. And I went down, got off the subway outside of Scotiabank Arena by Real Sports down there. And I was walking up towards the Rogers Center from that area.
And you saw him.
I saw a motorcycle gang, Portuguese flags, revving, horns honking. I've never seen anything like that.
Flare guns.
There must have been 3,000 people down there. I was like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, I got to get to the game.
Portugal
I couldn't
is
get
in
through.
town.
Like I had to walk all the way
Yes.
around because it was just his
Awesome.
bus there. And I was like, oh my God, all you people are here to, yeah. I'm like, imagine what they'd be like if he was actually good
Brad
still.
Dale must be fired
Yeah.
up. Didn't even occur to me. But
Yeah.
I mean, Croatian fans here in Toronto, we got a lot of Croatians here.
Today
It's
is going
awesome.
to be wild at Toronto Stadium.
One of the bigger sporting events in Toronto.
Sports history.
I mean,
Hands down.
Portugal, Croatia, and the
And
round of 32 still for them.
yeah, tonight, the Portuguese are big faves. Minus 150 on the money line. A tie, so it goes to extra time, plays plus 275. And Croatia, story, Derek, live underdog at plus 425.
My favorite tweet I saw was someone saying, imagine having such a great, critically acclaimed international career like Ronaldo and having it end in Liberty Village. What a shame it could be.
It's hot out. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild down there tonight. So if you're going to that game, first of all, can I have some money? Second of all, have fun.
Right.
That was Game Time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL, must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. And as a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne is brought to you by Bet365.
If not Ronaldo, could be Modric's last game.
For sure. I mean, it's
International World
two of the best players of this generation, potentially. One of them is going to be their last game. It's crazy.
Can't wait. All right, let's take a quick break.
Compelling and rich.
Buddy, I'm on a tight program right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
clapped into the mic. Sorry, everyone.
Take a split second. Did you eat all of my M&Ms from
I ate
Oh,
that
they're
entire
long.
canister.
They're long.
I'm
Right,
not
thanks
a
to the Rosedale Golf Course?
Yeah. I've eaten 3 pounds of
3 pounds of jujubes. I got jujubes still.
Oh, my God.
I'll get some for you
Look at me in our
during the
teeth
break.
when we come back.
When we return, still plenty more around the National Hockey League, including Blake Coleman finally gone. And we had an offer sheet as well. We'll get your thoughts on that when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. studio, Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee for our very last segment all together
Yeah.
for this season. As JB, you are off and away tomorrow.
Yes. Going to visit brother and father out west. Looking forward
You're
to
just
that.
going to leave me and Sammy here by ourselves.
Sorry, pal.
I got to say, I can't believe it. I can't. Like, it just, it feels like,
5 seasons.
I know. That's crazy.
We're putting to bed, the three of us, 5 seasons now on this show.
Yeah.
And how many rounds have they
Which no one,
2.
including myself, gave us a chance.
I mean, after the very first episode that we did together in studio, and then our boss, Dan Toman, coming in and being like, yeah, Kipper's got COVID.
Yeah.
So he's
He
going to
did
do
the second show from his car.
his car on a phone. He did the full thing on his phone from the car.
I only met you like 3 days before the show.
Going for nachos.
We went across the street for
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
And I left there going,
We're
who
screwed.
is this Sammy McKee? Am I on candid camera? Is this guy real?
Yeah.
Is he that nuts about the Leafs and
I actually-
Jays and
Yeah.
I insisted we had him when they were putting our show together.
Wow.
I said, it's got to be McKee.
Oh.
as a producer?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, you know what? I don't think the show sucked as bad as I thought it would.
That's a good drop. And
Rensky?
accurate.
Rensky?
Is there more to say on old Zach?
Oh, it's with the
Going back to
I have something to say.
Didn't they try to trade him? What are the
That-
Kumbaya?
that whole the last 48 hours was a clown show. That's what I have to say about it.
From which perspective? Please enlighten me.
Whatever we just experienced, whether it's Rowinski or people behind the scenes with the whole I'm not going to resign and how it leaked and who it leaked to. And, I'm not saying I want to be traded, but I'm not signing in 2 years. And then there's this panic from Columbus, the trade to Dallas that didn't happen.
But they tried to trade him.
Hold on, I'm not done. And then it's like, let's move on to Tampa Bay's the only place I want to be, or Toronto. And then it's like, I want a mulligan. I'll just stay. I'll just stay.
the complete llist of people who come off looking good is
Give me a relationship
zero.
comparison
Yeah,
here. Give me a
it's
girlfriend-boyfriend thing
It's like
here.
you
This is
telling
you.
me, you and your partner, you're breaking up, and she's terrible and doesn't want to be with it. And then the next day, you're like, we're okay now. and maybe in that time, I asked your partner out.
What happened?
Or you were like, you know who really sucks? Your partner. And
Yeah.
then the next day, you're like, we're back together.
So one of them goes to the bar and looks around and goes,
Oh, it's not so great.
"Oh
out
my
here.
God, it's horrible
These
in
guys
here."
are ugly.
Yeah. I'll go back with this putz. It's better than the rest of you.
It's so bad.
Yeah. It's bad, and it's also, I guess, a little bit disappointing.
Totally sucks.
You
I had already written in, speaking of number eight on the back end for the Leafs. I'd
Even
written
if
him
it
into
wasn't
the
the
lineup.
Leafs, though, like, just action like that's fun. New looks. What are, different teams? How does it fit? I love, it's.
Why put out the statements? Like, because now, if you want to trade him, you're like, oh, you really want to be here if you trade him in 12 months? Like, it makes you look so stupid if you trade him again. Do you not think?
But Rensky had to come out and not do a hostage video sort of thing. Like he's in. He's saying he's in.
totally in. Until they are 5 games under 500 this year, and he's like, trade me somewhere.
But if Toronto called today and offered the whole thing that they wanted in the first place, would it happen then?
No, he loves it there. He's
now
committed.
he loves it.
He's
Now,
committed.
now he
Now he
loves
loves
it. He wants
it.
to win there.
Kumbaya, my friend.
He was drafted in the OHL by the London Knights in the second round because he told them he was coming.
Okay.
To London.
Yes.
Okay.
And they don't waste picks, right?
Right.
On he was like a top defenseman, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I'll come to London. He never went to London.
Wow.
Really?
I've turned his back on the Knights. I didn't know I could love this guy anymore. Get
Bring
him on
him
the
to
Leafs.
town.
Let's go.
This is it is such a sign of our times. And I don't know, this is not Rensky specific, But talking to
But he's a
parents-
good example right now.
Right, and it's not just the NHL, though. It is like, oh, my dub team doesn't play me, I'm going to college, or my college team doesn't play me, I'm going to a different college team, or, players are just, I can't make this AAA team, I'm going to go play for that organization. I don't know. I'm not.
But you're starting to sound like me. Be careful.
I don't like it. Sometimes you got to
See,
play
I'm
the
liking
third.
you more now.
Well, you are 5 years older since the time we started the show.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm evolving.
You're a dinosaur. You're like me now.
I've evolved. I'm going the opposite way on the evolution chart.
Bit of a piece of breaking news here. Jakub Dobeš has signed a 3-year extension with the Habs.
7, 6,
16 million. AAV is 5.3.
5.3.
He's a child.
Yeah.
That's good. Great.
He could totally pumpkin for me.
He could be great. We don't know.
I
He could. There's some good signs though.
He's good. He had an
He's
unbelievable playoff run, but if he was like an 880 next year, I wouldn't be totally surprised. Goalies are weird.
Yeah. Fowler is supposed to be like the goalie of the future, right? For them, isn't that he's kind of the bigger name?
I think the 3 years will decide
which
for
of the
Montreal
two.
which one is going to be my next Carey Price.
And so let's see, what's the deal with Fowler? He has.
Doesn't matter.
he
He's
needs a
locked in.
contract.
He's locked in.
Yeah,
he's not going anywhere for
right.
3 years.
Yeah, 2 more years at
Did you
938.
during the commercial break? Did you Google a few ESPN commercials with Ovi?
Well, no, I just came up on my Twitter feed, and the one he's great. He's like in the dark, looking through the filing cabinet.
Yeah.
In the dark, and they comes in. He goes, "What are you doing in here?" Ovi's like, "Oh, just some late night filings." It's very funny.
So I did 2 ESPN commercials.
Really?
I did. With
You were
the New York
inside the
Rangers.
devil mascot in the one commercial.
No.
The devil.
No. The first one was I did 2 at Rye Playland. The first one, I had a beautiful, like, I don't know what they call them, but those bunny rabbits, but the Parisian ones or whatever.
Can't help
What
it,
the
pal.
hell?
I had a bunny. I had a real live bunny.
Okay.
And my line was, people think that we're hockey players are big, mean thugs, but we're actually very civilized people.
Okay.
They trusted you to say that many syllables?
Wrong.
And then I
first of all.
said, take this little guy, for instance. And then I showed everybody my bunny rabbit. And I said, how many of you know the best way to serve them is in a prune cognac sauce?
That's nice.
very
That's good. I
very
like
Boom,
that.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then the second one is they got me to put all of my equipment, my New York Ranger jersey, at the busiest time at Rye Playland because they had the figure skating with the ball, spinning, disco ball spinning. And then my line was, I take every opportunity to work on my game, my passing, my shooting. And then they hired a stunt man to skate by, and I got to cream them.
Really?
Really?
Like lay them out. Like I thought for sure I separated his shoulders, but they said you got to time it perfectly when you say working on my passing, my shooting, and my checking.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I flattened the guy.
Well, I was just frantically Googling, trying to find the ESPN commercial for Kyper, but it doesn't feel like it's on YouTube.
No, it's deep in the archives.
That's pretty awesome, though. That's fun.
All right. What else,
Offer sheet.
Sammy?
Offer sheet.
What offer sheet?
Barrett Hayton, Utah.
Yes.
So the Devils and Utah apparently had some sort of negotiations for a Barrett Hayton trade at the draft.
For a second rounder.
Right. And then Utah backed out of that deal or whatever. It didn't get consummated. And so the Devils said,
We're still going to do it.
we're still going to do it. So they offer sheet Hayton for 4.7 or whatever it was, which is the compensation, is only a second. Hayton signs it, which they then, if they match in Utah, they can't trade him for a year. And
they
that
lose
walks him right to
yeah,
UFA.
Yeah.
That's greasy.
It's greasy. But
Sonny
if-
Maida's like, I got an ace king. I'm going all in.
Well, this is the thing. And for years, I think there's a lot of fans going, why aren't people acting competitively with the tools they have? I think it's changing a little
I
bit.
don't know why it doesn't happen more often.
Well, this is a great chance to leverage a guy from another organization who just wants to get paid more money. I'm curious what they do. I imagine you could match and then try to extend him, try to keep him before he gets to UFA.
How good is Barrett Hayton?
He only had 25 points or something last year, but he's a good two-way centerman that people think has more potential in a different role.
I saw some of the Leafs people were really thinking that he'd be a good fit for the Leafs,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Either way,
he's already played 358 games.
I bet you Bill Armstrong is going to hate Sonny Maeda, and we're 1 month into Sonny's term. So that's
If I was
fine.
Yeah, old boys club. He's kind of
During the playoffs, I take
I
every
would offer
opportunity
some
to
Bill
work on my
Carlson.
game. Work
You
on my
would, eh?
passing, my shooting, and especially my
Yeah.
body checking.
something bonk.
Yeah, bonkers.
Cutter Gauthier in the same spot, isn't he?
Right?
And one of you two. Hope I get one of you two. Otherwise, you got to.
Question is though, you got to after that you got to spend $20 million every year on him,
as a qualifying offer or whatever.
even if you do a 1-year deal. Yeah, or you
I think
got to qualify him.
the way I've had it explained to me is like you overpay for those first year or whatever the offer sheet is, because you can do multi-year on an offer sheet. Or
Yeah, you can do.
So you
much as you want.
overpay for that
Focusing
first
large.
one, get them in your organization.
where is my
hopefully you
crazy
can say,
bread?
okay,
I
those were
asked for
pretty
crazy
bonkers
bread.
numbers for you. Can we now
Right.
do?
They got a ton of money in Anaheim. I'm not saying cap-wise.
Breaks are
I'm
good.
saying
Okay.
just the ownership is very
Okay, I want you to
deep.
go to the
Like,
airport.
Yeah.
Can't ever see them
Bullied.
not matching.
How do you
Bullied,
tell
not matching.
Americans
you.
Hey, do you wanna grab dinner or
mentioned
something after the
we were just
game?
talking about the
Best show ever made.
man,
John Collins,
traded
unbelievable.
for Vincent Trocheck.
Collins is
signed
doing this to you,
on
idiot.
Thursday.
That changes Utah for me. That's
Seconds
now a
Jersey-
real team.
Jersey
They need a
goes
D.
to the Rangers.
Yeah, that one. Like you held out on Trocheck.
I'm
for-
tired of everybody
Jersey
talking
and
about playoff
pick.
ghosts.
I know,
around
and
here.
a former first pick.
during the playoffs. In fact, we
First round
don't call
pick.
them injuries.
Cole
What do you
Baudouin.
call him?
Baudouin.
Who I don't know,
Is the
Supposed to be big, physical,
but
centerman.
not supposed to be like a star or
Right.
a can't miss top 6 player.
right.
Like he third or fourth liner.
Yeah, you're getting.
So what did you get?
Well, this is the risk. I mean, anytime you give up the best player, it's surprising that would be the best package.
I don't. I mean, it's been so long.
Like Montreal didn't want to go for Trocheck
No, but
with
he's,
some of their
he's an
prospects.
American kid. Maybe he didn't want to go. Maybe he's on the list. Maybe all
Utah?
Canadian teams are off.
I love
some
Salt Lake City.
American
Right.
lists.
That Baudouin is he's a real prospect.
Yeah.
Like he
Like top player prospect. Sam
From Team Canada.
yeah, he's
the
world junior guy. You know, he's
can be a star.
90 points in the OHL with the Colts. Maybe stars, but I don't think I think he could be a good pro.
Okay.
Like I think he could be
Okay.
Vincent Trocheck at some point
But
in
like,
his career.
I guess where the Rangers are at, that he's probably a few years
oh
out
yeah,
yet.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so now you got Schmaltz, Trocheck, Keller, Lee, Cooley, Gunther, which is great. Kraus, Hayton,
Love
Carconi, and then McBain, Stendlin, Tanev is a heck of a fourth line. Their D are meh. You know,
Right.
Sergachev, Uyghur, Schmidt, Marino, Stimashev, DeSimone.
Oh, those
Not
are a
gonna
lot
get
of
it.
words.
Not going to get a cut.
Those are interesting words
Not
you
gonna
just
cut
said.
it? Yeah.
Not going to cut the.
Don't
Yeah.
listen to me. I don't know.
Anything else you want to hit before we sign off for the last time, the three of us? Flames.
Flames
Trading
did
Coleman to the
Coleman
Wild.
deal.
I like Coleman.
Me too. Me too.
What's he got left?
1 year.
I mean, as a player.
Oh, as a player.
What did Calgary end up with? A
Uh,
second and a.
A second, a third, and a fifth, I think.
kind of a surprising also where it's just a
And
bunch
that
of picks.
Jacob Middleton.
Yeah, Middleton's a 30-year-old D.
Yeah.
You know,
You can flip him.
I think he becomes a pick. I think if you're the Flames, you should start trying to get good players now. Because I think it's really hard to go, okay, it's time to turn the corner. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be bad next year, regardless. You still need some bodies.
Have we looked at the UFA list next year? Has anyone done that yet?
No.
Apparently the Islanders are, because they're talking about how much money they have to spend next year, and no one ever makes UFA anymore. So I'm a little concerned about that. Some teams, I'm like, nothing. Ottawa did a couple
Quiet,
things
eh?
early. Montreal hasn't done anything.
I mean,
Islanders,
Kucherov's a free
nothing.
agent, McCarr. And we're going to do the same thing where all the guys just get signed. So, I mean,
Cooch is interesting. How old's Cooch?
What would you give him?
I know
Lots.
you'd give him your house.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
Kucherov's age is
33.
he's only 33. He'll probably get a 7-year deal.
Do you think he's going to be there forever? Or do you think he'd leave?
70 mil. Get 10
Yeah,
per.
I think he's going to be there forever.
Yeah.
Get 10 per.
And I am really surprised Bobrovsky
15 per.
didn't want to just stay. And like, I don't understand these guys. They just don't want to wrap it up
Competitive.
with the same team.
Competitive.
Or greedy. Depends how you
Both.
look at it.
I think both are very much in play.
You got a team that's favored to win the Stanley Cup, and you don't know if this one's going to make the playoffs. Where's the competitiveness there?
That he thinks he can be the difference.
Okay.
He's not afraid of the bright lights like a lot of the guys that play for Florida. They run down. Well, they run down there to be like, oh, there's no pressure. Oh,
No pressure.
no pressure. Beach, elbow room. That's what they do. Sorry, I mean, am I wrong?
No.
They flee Canada to go to the beach.
The only pressure matters is the pressure you feel on the ice to beat the guys against you.
I don't think we've talked enough about Brady Tkachuk going to Florida. When I'm talking to people outside of this room, there's people thinking it looks not cowardly necessarily, but like, that you're ring chasing and not doing it on your own, just going with your brother.
Big brother. That's it, boys. Last one together.
Yes.
Unbelievable. 5 years.
Thanks, fellas.
Feel like I'm going to cry.
It's always fun.
JB, awesome, buddy.
Yeah.
Love working with you. You know that. I don't have
too,
to
pal.
get all,
Nope.
teary-eyed.
When we
here.
yell at each other, don't worry. We're still allowed.
No, that's not entirely true. I go home and I get mad at you.
But I don't have to hear about it. It's Anne Marie's problem.
All right. We're back tomorrow, though, Sammy and I.
You and me.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.